Welcome to the Self-Made Podcast. I'm Bianca Miller-Cole.
And I'm Byron Cole.
And today we are interviewing the amazing Raphael Sofoluke, and we're going to be talking all about the Black Business Show and your experience to date. So welcome, Raphael. How are you doing?
I'm good.
Good.
Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you.
First question for those who don't know.
Yeah.
Tell us a bit about you and about the business.
I'm the founder of the UK Black Business Show. So it was founded in 2017. The whole idea of the show was it was created to inspire and connect Black business owners in various professions. So we use exhibitions, deep dive workshops, seminars, and keynotes by industry pioneers. And since launching in 2017, it's gone on to be hugely successful with over 1,500 attendees last year, and this year we're expecting over the 2,000 mark.
Excellent.
Last year was quite amazing. We had ITV News down as well on the day. That's what I do.
And how did the idea come about?
Yeah, so I've worked in the events and exhibition industry for a while now, and then literally one day at work, it was like the UK Black Business Show. So I emailed my wife, and she was just like, yes. She was like, that's it, do that one.
Is that because you email her new ideas every day?
You know what I do, yeah, we do. So she's at work, she works for JP Morgan, and then we just email each other different things throughout the day. And so I sent her this idea, and she's like, that's gonna work, because I've worked on a number of different exhibitions, a big one called the UK Investor Show, which is huge. When we announced the UK Black Business Show, it got such a great reaction. It kind of just showed that it was needed.
Yeah. How did your employers feel about you having, your day job and then obviously your own project?
Yeah.
It takes a lot of your time as well.
It does. It's a full-time job, the UK Black Business Show. So sometimes I'll be lunchtime, might have a meeting to go to for the UK Black Business Show, after work, interviews, etc. But actually, it's a bit appealing to them. They kind of are excited to have me on board because they think I can create ideas for them. And I've created 2 big exhibitions for 2 companies, which have turned over $1 million last year, actually.
Awesome.
It kind of makes me a bit more attractive. Funny enough.
So for those who have their own, who have a 9-to-5, what advice would you give them? They're trying to start their own business or create their own concept, but they have that 9-to-5, and there's probably that stigma or that philosophy that you can't do both. What would you say to those people?
You know what? I wouldn't do. It's my missus that's keeping me in this. I would have left a long time ago. But you know what? It's very hard once it gets to a certain level. So I'm not going to say it's easy because currently right now I get more emails on my UK Black Business Show than my actual. It's a lot of work, but it actually can be done as well at the same time. It's kind of just about organising your time. So, I've got a little one as well actually, so it's even more difficult coming home. So it's just about dedicating hours and delegating as well. So I've got a team of 5 or 6 people now who help out on different things for me as well.
So it's all about the infrastructure. It's getting that right, get the team right.
Picking the right people as well, who can deliver as well, and who are also experts in the field as well. So obviously a lot of friends want to get involved when they see it, but I've got a amazing team. I've got one operations director who's incredible, who reached out to me, and she's done huge exhibitions, and she just loved what we was doing. She's amazing, as well as a number of different people in the team as well. We cover my manager, PA, marketing, etc. They all kind of help me to be a bit less stressed.
So let's go back to the beginning and let's give the audience, give them a bit of information about where you started in terms of the first year 1, to where it is now. But also, what was the key change and what was the main part that allowed you to transition from that kind of a smaller conference to a much larger conference now?
So, I always had the vision of it being huge in mind. So the first one was, it was good, but I knew I could execute it a bit better. We just needed more budget and things like that. and more growth as well. After the reputation of the first year, it helped us kind of set up for the second year. And this second year is now set us up amazingly for this year. So I mean, hold up, I think I've gone off topic.
Carry on.
So the question was, how did we go from
the transition? Yeah. So we're keen to know about that transition from where you started to where you are now.
Cool.
And what was the main? I guess the main question is, what was the key factor in that transition? What allowed you to grow and scale?
So, funny enough, during the first and the second one, I worked on another exhibition called the Crypto Investor Show. For another company, which I came up with the idea. I was like, let's do a crypto investor show. It's buzzing right now. And it happened to just take over. We had over 5,000 attendees, huge amount, turned over $1 million.
Wow.
So they had huge budgets as well to do, to use. So
for the marketing and so on.
Yeah. So I brought in my operations director from the UK Black Business Show to join with the Crypto Investor Show.
Okay.
So we worked on a huge show during that time. So the scale from the first UK Black Business Show to the second is almost like it's tripled, because we've kind of worked on, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they're kind of seeing what it would be in the third year, in the second year, last year, which was incredible. It looked amazing. And yeah, that's pretty much how we kind of done it. But I always had in mind the scale of how I wanted it to be, just a professional experience for black business owners and professionals. So, yeah.
And what's the general feedback you're getting from attendees and exhibitors?
In terms of feedback, it's been amazing. People are saying, this is the best exhibition in terms of value for money. Exhibitors, attendees say it's inspiring. I've had people say that speakers say this is the future, which is amazing. We've had exhibitors from Europe as well, so it's not just in the UK, and which kind of shows the issue that black businesses are having. It's not just in the UK. They kind of need an environment to to sell their products, and that's why we're having companies who sell cards and things that are kind of focused to a black audience. They feel this is the right space for them to be, but also we're seeing black-owned law firms, accountancy firms this year, as well as like the NHS who exhibit, who are targeting sickle cell and then prostate cancer. I think it's like 1 in 4 black men. So we have a nice mix of companies who are trying to target our audience for like social good and black-owned businesses.
Was it difficult at the beginning to get sponsorship and to get larger organisations interested?
Yeah. I think a lot of companies, the big companies, reach out.
Was that in the second year, once you'd established and had a proven track record? Or?
Yeah, for the second show, we had a few big companies who are reaching out to us, but some of them didn't close. Either they wanted a bit more information, like demographics, all of this information, which we hadn't really had. We didn't have a structure set up, because we didn't know we would scale that quickly. So we didn't have things like gender, all of that set up, which we do have now. But I mean, I went to exhibitions and just literally pitched companies as well. I just went and sold to them and got them on board. I phoned up as well. I mean, this is kind of what I do anyway. You know what I mean?
To get them to become exhibitors or to get sponsors?
The sponsors.
Well? Really?
So
okay.
we have a huge amount of inquiries for exhibitor stands. So I think this year alone, we've had 200 exhibitor inquiries for the show.
How many spaces do you have available?
We're aiming to do 150. That's what I've set my team this year.
Okay.
We done 25 our first year and we sold out. We ran out of space. We done 57 second year. We ran out of space again. So we've doubled each year, over doubled. So I want to do 100 and a bit more.
I just want to say we were there in that first year, exhibiting,
cheerleading.
Yeah.
So what would you say are the biggest challenges you've encountered in this journey so far?
Biggest challenges? It's a hard one. I think it'd probably be along the line of sponsors, actually.
Getting the money.
Yeah, we want the big sponsors, and we know what we can deliver as well. We know what our audience does, I think a lot of companies reach out because they want the whole D&I, and I think they have to pay the right money to get their branding on the conference, because reaching a huge audience as well at the show. We've got a huge platform now. I think we're going on to 10K on Instagram. I think around 5,000 on Twitter, and we've built quite quickly over 2 years. So yeah, just getting the right sponsors on board. I think is coming. We're speaking to the right companies, and they're reaching out to us. I think the media, a lot more media, I think should be a bit more interested in the UK Black Business Show.
And do you find that why do you think they're not?
It's controversial. It is controversial. I get so many emails saying this is racist.
Really?
Funny enough, yeah. I get so. What if we done a white business show? And I was just like, that's not the point. Because you know what I mean. I was just like, yeah, go on. I was like, you do it. You can do it. But I also, the whole idea is that there's shows like Women in Tech, because women are underrepresented in tech.
Yeah, of course.
And this is for black business owners, because they're underrepresented in business. It's not. And I'm like, please, I like everyone, all different races to come, because we want to actually showcase some of the amazing black-owned businesses. Mm-hmm. So I encourage all races to come to the show. Mm-hmm. We hold it in Black History Month as well, which is a significant month. So yeah, I feel like I always go.
No, you're right, because I think it's really interesting that we know Mel Usabi, who's speaking at the show again this year. She started the Black Business Awards, and she gets that question as well. But the reality is, there's the Asian Business Awards, there's the Black Business Awards, there's various women's awards. We Are the City, and they're targeted at niche environments where, in the most part, they're minority group based, right? So it's really interesting that the media will be so concerned that this would be perceived as racist, but it's not based. That's not why you've done it with a good thing
exactly.
in mind.
And it's just it's so many emails on the on the Facebook. The day of the show's second year, the Facebook event group was literally, my notifications were going crazy because people were arguing. It's like different races
back and forth.
Back and forth, saying, "Can't believe this show is taking place today," blah blah blah. And I just think I think it may be a bit controversial for some people. But
is it to you?
How does that make you feel? Yeah.
I don't think it's controversial at all. I think it's amazing. It's interesting. It's like, for example, I met up with Sky Sports News as well, who are doing the Tackling Racism program, and which is maybe also seen as controversial as well, because they've never done something like that as well. And I met up with a lovely lady who's doing great things for like the D&I for them. But she also said that a lot of people, in terms of when she announced the program, some people were switching off. Like their normal demographic. She can imagine the demographic that are watching suddenly turn off. They come onto the screen, TV, Sky Sports News, and they see 4 black panelists. They put black codes for the Tackling Racism, and she said some people have been switching off because of that.
Well, that's really unfortunate because more often than not, when I'm watching Sky Sports, not by choice, there's the panel is usually one ethnicity, one gender, and one age demographic, typically. So why would they be so concerned when they shake it up a bit for a day? It's not like it was a month. How long was it for? An hour?
Yeah, it's just an hour.
Really?
But I mean, I think it's a great show, and I mean the sort of companies that are reaching out to us, it does show that they are interested in, and it's not as controversial as people think it is.
Are you trying to be a champion for black people? Was that the aim? Are you trying to revolutionise the business industry, or was it just kind of pure coincidence? You thought this was something that was great. You hadn't considered how radical some people might think it might be.
Yeah, I wasn't trying to be a champion or anything. No, not at all. But I thought of the idea, and funny enough, I didn't realise actually how important it was until I was actually in it. Because the emails we were getting, this is so amazing, we've been waiting for this, finally, and the inquiries that were flooding in were just incredible. And I was in quite a privileged position to see some amazing businesses that no one knew about. There was a guy, so when we interviewed with ITV News before this year's show, I brought a guy on to speak about his brand. He has a keyboard which you can type in English and it translates it straight into a Ghanaian language. He's got another keyboard that translates it straight into Nigerian, and different languages.
Wow.
And that was incredible, and that's a niche for the black community.
Yeah.
So those who are trying to learn their language is incredible.
Awesome. So other than Bianca, of course, who's the best speaker you've had?
Bianca was amazing in the first year. We nearly got in trouble actually. They wanted to shut us down because your room was so packed. I didn't even tell you.
Oh wow!
At the end, so they was just like, listen. This is packed fire safety.
Wow!
So yeah, we had to get a bigger room.
I'm not sorry, but I am sorry.
So yeah, second year we definitely had to get a bigger room for speakers. But yeah, alongside Bianca, I think Bianca was like everyone wanted to see Bianca in the first year when she was there. Second year, Kubi as well always brings in a huge crowd. We had some great speakers. We had Adrian Grant, who done Thriller Live. He's the creator of Thriller Live, as well as like Dawn Butler spoke last year.
And who are you looking forward to seeing
the most?
This year, you know what? There's so many amazing speakers.
Give us the roster first of all. Give us a couple of names.
Jamal Edwards.
Yeah.
I've been quite a fan of Jamal since.
Yeah. Did you get to speak to him already, or is via his team
I know Jamal from like back in the day.
But now he's not so accessible.
Exactly. Yeah. So I had to speak to his PA.
There we go.
So actually, because I used to rap as well. I didn't even mention that.
Oh wow, we'll have to get you to the
rap. He filmed me like back in the day, which was great. But I messaged him already on LinkedIn. He was like, "Yeah, I'll do it." But then obviously I had to speak to his PA to sort things out. Jamal Melanie, you mentioned. Kubi is actually launching her book at the UK Black Business Show, which is amazing. So her publishers were like, "This is the perfect place. You have to do it here." So that's going to be exciting. Mark Slider Cuts. We've got the Slay in Your Lane, Elizabeth and Yomi.
Yeah.
All right, so pick
Louise from Shubs.
Pick two now. Yeah. Who are you looking forward to seeing speak at your next show?
Do you mean this?
All right, let me not put you on the spot. Let me
change the question.
Do you actually get to see anyone speak? Because he's always running around.
Yeah.
Who are the people looking to? Who do you think the people enjoy the most?
You know what? Kubi's got a fan base at the UK Black Business Show. Like they literally, they go crazy for because I think the way she delivers her talks. So I think they're looking forward to seeing her again for a third year. I think Jamal. A lot of people have messaged me about Jamal Edwards. The Slay in Your Lane. I haven't announced them yet, but I know they're going to be people are going to be excited to see them. There's David McQueen as well. Actually, he's a great speaker. So I mean, Kubi's. I think a lot of people are excited to hear Kubi speak again, and Jamal.
So going back and looking through all these years now, and you've had a couple of trials now, and you've tested out the market. Yeah. What one thing would you change?
About the show or how I do things?
Yeah. How you did it?
Processes, people. What one thing would you change? Or it could be about you.
Yeah. Delegation. I'm a bit of a control freak. People have told me like you need to just let go of things. Yeah. So this year I've let go a bit on sales. So I sell all the stands myself.
Right.
So first year I sold 25 myself. Last year 57. But with us trying to double and the amount of inquiries that are coming in, I have to
can't manage it all.
So yesterday I met with the new sales guy.
You don't even sound happy.
I know.
I'm letting my baby go.
Good, and he's coming up with all these ideas. I was like,
okay.
So just kind of letting things go. I would have done that maybe a bit earlier because there's so much other stuff that I kind of need to do as well because of being the founder. People want to like interviews and etc. So I think I'll delegate earlier.
And how do you feel being a founder? Because obviously you've been instrumental to the success of other shows previously. Yeah. How was the transition to being a founder and it being your own baby? How's that been for you?
It's been amazing. It's great. One thing I purposely do is I actually don't post myself on the actual account. Because
Why?
I don't want it to be about myself. For the UK Black Business Show. I don't know. It's just a reason. It's just something which I think I shouldn't do. I don't want the whole UK to start to be about the founder. I just want it to be about black business owners, professionals. So I don't put myself on the website. I don't put myself on the Instagram, on the Twitter. I'll promote myself on my own page. But that's what I kind of wanted to do, and that's why I haven't spoken at my conferences yet.
Do you want to speak?
I do.
But there's a but coming, we feel.
I think I need a bit more training speaking.
Okay. What would you talk about? What would your topic be?
I think execution. Executing an event. That's probably what I know. Marketing as well. So I've got a diploma in marketing, which has kind of helped me kind of get the attendees in. I know how to do.
So have you done any talks so far?
I've done a few talks.
Yeah.
So I've done one at the NatWest Diversity Business Panel. I've done talks for like Labour and just different talks here and there.
But you want to do some more?
That would be UK. It would be my biggest audience. It would be, but it would be the biggest audience because the audience last year was crazy intimidating. It was, and even me when I gave the closing speech, I was like, oh my gosh, like this is huge crowd. And this year
you did speak. You gave a closing speech.
Yeah, I gave a little talk. Thank you for coming.
Did you say who he was, or you were just like, thank you for coming?
No. Someone introduced me online. However, I'm tempted. I might do a Q&A with Jamal.
Do a Q&A.
Oh, okay.
Because
Jamal likes Q&As.
Yeah. So he's going to have an hour Q&A this year. And I'm tempted to say I want to host it.
Just do it.
Yeah.
Who was going to host it?
Just another host. Yeah. I have different hosts.
I don't understand. Bianca, sorry. Can you explain?
I don't know. He's saying he's going to get someone else to interview his highest profile speaker.
No, surely not.
I know.
Wow.
I mean, I was lost at a bit where he said he doesn't want anyone to know he's the founder. That was a bit rough.
I can see that. I
can
see that. He doesn't want it to be about him.
But it's not about you. I feel like, obviously, personal branding is my favourite. So I understand that. But at the same time, I think there's nothing wrong with you being on the website as the founder with a picture because you have to be proud of it.
Yeah.
And I think as a voice for change, or as a voice for someone who's actually uplifting black businesses and the community, that there's no, it's time to step out of the shadows, I think.
Ooh. Okay.
And that advice is for free.
I'm not saying suddenly be like, hi guys, everywhere, but don't put yourself all over Instagram.
Yeah.
If I keep going on Instagram and you're there, I might do. But I didn't even know who, when I arrived at the show, you introduced yourself.
Yeah.
But that's because you didn't have any direct correspondence.
Yeah.
You have to work with the PA.
You have to work with the management.
But no, I think it's a good thing. I think what you've done is incredible. You should be very proud.
So, give us some top tips for other aspiring entrepreneurs in a 9-to-5 currently, looking to do their own thing. Give us some quick fire tips.
Quick fire tips. Well, find something that you enjoy. It can actually tie in with what you're doing. So I'm actually learning a lot from my 9-to-5 that I'm using to incorporate into my business.
Yeah.
And there's so much I can learn here still, which is great. So be clever with your time as well. If you need to meet someone at lunch for your own business, there's a hotels around, just book be creative. I bring my laptop as well with me to work. So, sometimes people are going for drinks. I might just pop over to the hotel and just work on that. I think those are probably the tips I've got. I haven't got many. Yeah.
And how do you get your employer on side with you having a side hustle? Because I think that's the thing we always get asked. If you have a job, you have a contract, how do you get your employer to agree or be accepting of the fact that you're going to do something on the side? You know what?
It's funny enough. Before I started my new place, they gave me more than one interview. They gave me 3 interviews. They got someone else to actually interview me, and that 3rd interview was literally saying, "How do we know you're not going to leave when the UK Black Business Show does this?" It was grilling me about turnover, how much. They were literally saying, "But this looks like it's going to be in 2 years' time. It's going to be incredible. How do we?" And I was just like, "Listen, I've still got a lot to learn. So it's hard, but they obviously see the entrepreneur, like everyone wants an entrepreneur to work for them because, you know, they can create something for them. You know, that's, so they see that, but, you know, of course, when it's digging into their time, they don't want to start coming and seeing you working on your own projects. But now, actually, they follow me. Actually, I've got a lot of team members that follow me, so they're always seeing me at like awards and things like that, and they're just like, oh man.
Awesome.
But it's always outside of work, so.
Sure. So bring your entrepreneur spirit internal. Bring it inside.
Yeah.
That's what we always say to people.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So look down the camera. Tell everybody when it's happening, where it's happening, how they can get involved.
Yeah. UK Black Business Show is taking place this year on October the 5th at the Queen Elizabeth II Centre opposite the Houses of Parliament and Westminster Abbey. Check out ukblackbusinessshow.co.uk for information on exhibiting and all our amazing speakers, and follow us on our social medias at UKBB Show.
And I haven't asked you this yet, but if anybody comes via our channel, would there be perhaps a small discount for exhibitors? Maybe
of course, we could arrange. Come on.
So message, put in there self-made.
Put in self-made, and listen, you'll get a nice discount.
And where can they find you?
You can find me on social media as well at Raphael Sofoluke. RABHAL Sofoluke. Yeah, it's long.
It'll be down there for you.
It's there.
Well, thank you very much for joining us today
for
the Self-Made Podcast.
Brilliant.
And the best of luck in October.
Thank you.
We'll be rooting for you. You know,
we've
been there cheerleading in the background.
Brilliant.
So we love what you're doing, and we hope that you
appreciate
achieve the goals and aspirations that you're trying to achieve.
Thanks, guys. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. This has been the Self-Made Podcast. I'm Bianca Miller-Cole.
And I'm Byron Cole.
We'll see you on the next one. Take care.